Hello, my name is Lorianne Smith, and I just wanted to give a shout of thanks to all the people who've subscribed to my channel recently. I had 89 subscribers for about 10 years, and then just in the last few weeks, I've so many people have subscribed to my channel and watched my videos, and I have so many comments. I just appreciate all the comments and kind words. They mean a lot to me. I didn't have a lot of support for, and a lot of feedback for my work over the years, but I just kept putting it out there because it wasn't it wasn't trying to be a popularity contest type of thing. I was just trying to get information out to people, and hoping that people would find that my stuff was find it helpful or useful in some regard. So I thank you for subscribing and for liking my stuff and all of your kind words, and I appreciate it very much. I know there's so many survivors of abuse out here, and it's heartbreaking when you think about the numbers. We're not a number. We're people. Like, we're real people, and we need support. So this is why I do what I do, trying to help, sort of share what I've found helpful with adult survivors of child abuse, and also just shouting out, to stop and prevent child abuse. So I do, some of that as well. And hi, Melissa. I got Melissa here. I hope you're having a good night, or wherever you're at. It depends on where you're at around the world there. It's I'm in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. It's about it's 9 p.m. here. And I just thought I'd do a quick show. I Over the last, I don't know, I'd say 6 months of this whole COVID-19 thing for 2020. It's been crazy for everybody, I know, all around the world. I got a little bit busy with NASCA doing some online radio broadcasting with Blog Talk Radio. And I had been with them for years. And, Virginia, right on. And I've never been there. That's one area of the United States I never got to. I got to Missouri. That's as far east and south that I ever got. Missouri was beautiful, but I wanted to go all the way to the coast and to the Atlantic there. So that's one area I haven't been to, but I've seen pictures and it looks beautiful. Yeah, this is the thing. It's so many people are so isolated, with NASCA, NAASCA, Adult Survivor. It's a National Association of Adult Survivors of Child Abuse. We wanted to really reach people last year because of the isolation that people were facing. And so I did do some online work with them. But I didn't do too much here on my own stuff. I was mainly just struggling with health issues. I had, like in the beginning of the year, I had cancer that I had to get removed, and I was pretty sick, and they finally removed it. That was in June. And then my health started to slowly improve, but my blood pressure was stroke level all year. It was really bad. It was like 200 over 186, and they couldn't figure out what it was. We had done so many tests and stuff, and they finally put me on some new meds, and that's really helped a lot. So I am feeling better, feeling more myself, and just a little bit more energy to be doing this stuff. So I started volunteering with my friends from Advocates United for Humanity, AU for H, and we started a YouTube channel here, AU for H Radio, and that's been great, to get back into that with them. And they're my best friends from like many years ago. We've advocated for years together to work to stop and prevent child abuse. And Donna Shear and Lee Roberts. Donna Shear was the person who suggested I get my books published, and she helped me get them published and helped me, with the whole entire process and the covers and everything. So she's been very, very helpful and very good to me over the years. She's an author herself. And so it's been good to get back involved, now I've got more energy to be doing this stuff, right? So that's what I'm hopefully going to do. I don't know what people would find helpful. I know for myself, I like to keep going on the child abuse adult survivor stuff, because there's so many survivors out here, who, just need validation, and they just need help and support. I used to do that on Blog Talk Radio. It was called One Child Abuse Survivor to Another. I've got all that on the playlists. If you look on the playlist, the One Child Abuse Survivor to Another, that's basically what that was, all adult survivors material, basically. I went through a lot of material there over the years, 600 and something shows. And then the other show, the other playlist for child abuse prevention is Up to Us. That one is, of course, it's geared mainly about child abuse prevention. And so I'm not going to pick that one back up. I think what I'm going to do, I did some serious thinking about it because I don't have any job. I don't have a job. I've been off work for over a year, so I'm sort of, it's been month to month, and I've been just, broke, really, just getting by, just squeezing by. And thankfully, I mean, I've made it, and I just give all the thanks to God because I know that He's the one doing it. But I'm thankful for what I have, a roof over my head and a warm, safe place to sleep. That's always what I've been thankful for. So many people around the world right now don't have that, and they don't have safety. They don't have food. They don't have a warm place to sleep. We've got no shelter, no place, to call home. And so I really am very appreciative of what I have. But it's been tough, and I wasn't ever sure if I was going to be able to keep the internet. So this is one of the reasons why I didn't want to kind of do much broadcasting. But it looks like I'm going to be good for about another 5 months, 6 months. So I should be okay. And if I can get a job, then I'll be able to keep broadcasting. So I just wanted to come on tonight and just talk a little bit about the shows that I'm going to be doing coming up here. And I figured I'll do a one child abuse survivor to another continuation. And what I want to do with that one, because if you look at those videos, I covered like a lot of stuff. It's old information, but it's all still relevant. All that information's still out there. I thought what I would do is look at the Survivor to Thriver manual, and that is from the ASCA, Adult Survivors of Child Abuse, a Morris Center program. And that Survivor to Thriver manual is really good. And it also, even for me, working on my healing journey, helps to put in place. So it sort of helps me to be able to see where I'm at in my healing journey, what I still need to work on. So I actually don't mind going through that material again. And this time, I think what I'll do is, because so many survivors of abuse are just starting out on your healing journey and, not sure what this whole thing is all about. Like, it is horrifying when you first get on a healing journey like this, trying to deal with stuff that's, maybe from years ago, but it's just still so painful. I know how that goes because I didn't start my healing journey until the age of 41, 42, and I really didn't do much work in it till the age of about 44. So 43, 44. So I know how hard it is for people, when you first start looking into this information. Survivor to Thriver workbook is a great workbook. It's a manual, but it's also a workbook. And I thought what I'd do is just read through and read it. And that way, anybody who's a adult survivor of child abuse who wants to sort of listen to what it's about, you'll be able to see if that's something that might help you, right? I know it helped me a lot because it's one of the first things that I actually got a hold of on my healing journey. And I did an extensive reading on it. I did the work on it and actually did the questions and stuff. And then later I joined an ASCA, Adult Survivors of Child Abuse Morris Center program, an actual group, a survivor group online. It was very helpful. And then I started my own group. So that was really cool. So I had a group running for a while, but my husband's health around 2017 started to go downhill, and I was really overwhelmed and was working full-time, taking care of him full-time here in our apartment, working full-time from home. And I was just so overwhelmed by the whole thing. So I had to kind of let that go. And then he passed away August 2018. So it was a rough ride for sure. So I didn't start the group back up, and a lot of the people had dropped off anyway. So it's kind of tough. It's hard to find a group, especially an online group, where people feel comfortable. And I know that for me, myself, joining many groups, and realizing that some of the groups actually have problems. So it's kind of like, you have to kind of search around to find what one that works for you, right? That's comfortable, and that you can that is safe, right? because that's why those groups are managed the way that they are. And that's to keep the adult survivor of child abuse safe. Because, you don't want to be wounded further. We've been wounded enough. And the whole idea is to make progress in your healing journey and not regress backwards and not be treated horribly. You know what I mean? So it's important to find. Oh, thank you, Melissa. Yeah, it was hard. It was a very difficult time, I'll tell you. There were some days that I didn't think I was going to make it. I was just like, he was my best friend, and I just loved him so much. He was my best friend and my best supporter through my healing journey in my life. Like he's the person that treated me the kindest in my whole entire life. I love that man. And when he was worried about me because he knew he was going, and he was like, I don't know what you're going to do, and because he knew that I had so many struggles with life, and he's just like, I don't know. He was worried about me. I said, no, don't worry. I'll just keep going. I just have to keep going. And so I made him a promise I would keep going. And so that's what I'm doing. But let me tell you, it's hard. It's hard for anybody. I mean, I'm not the only one. This is part of life, right? These losses do come, and we have to learn how to get through and how to deal with it and how to grieve and how to mourn, and that it's okay to grieve. It's okay to mourn. I've learned that through my healing journey, working through the different stages of grief and mourning my childhood and mourning what happened to me and grief and all of that stuff. So that did help. I already had a bit of head start working through the grief work. And yeah, but it's still very shocking when it happens. And even though we knew he was going to go, and I was, more prepared than most people are when they lose their husband or their wife or, someone who's very close to them. Boyfriend, girlfriend, or just family member, somebody very close. I had the opportunity to know that he was going, and we were as prepared as we could be. So that was a big help. It's just that you could never really prepare for that moment, and it was just me and him. And I was he wanted to pass away at home, so it was just me and him. And I was doing the morphine, and he passed away with me there. I was like, it was so hard. It was really, really hard to deal with. And, but I knew I had to do it for him because that's what he wanted. He didn't want to die in the hospital. And, so he wanted it just to be me and him. That's what we did. It was very, very difficult. I'll tell you that. But, life goes on. We got to keep going. That's what I told him. I'm just going to keep going until I can't go anymore. And that's kind of what spurred me on to want to kind of do more work on this. Like I said, last year, I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to keep the internet. That was a problem every month. I was like, oh, I don't even know if I'm going to have enough money to pay my internet next month. So I didn't want to kind of set anything up. But I've got 6 months of funding now from the government because of COVID-19. And in the meantime, I got to try to find a job. Hopefully my health is coming back around, which is great. And because that was a big issue, is whether I could work or not, because I had cancer. I was just very sick. And so the issue is I've got probably have internet through till June. So let's hope so. So this is why I'm kind of getting back into this. So I thought I'd do that once a week, and I'll still do the Saturday Survivor check-in because I like to do that video. Just a quick video. It might only be 15 minutes and whatever. Just a quick check-in with people. And then I also I've done a lot of biblical videos. People can see that on my playlist. I have Healing Word of Life, and that is like a biblical counseling series that I did. I actually set up a website for it, Healing Word of Life, on Weebly.com. Because I'm a Christian, but I don't push, and I don't mix my Christianity with my one child abuse survivor to another stuff, because I was so angry at God. I had many issues with God. My dad was a Christian and he abused us, so, and I know there's a lot of abuse going on in the church. I mean, when I was growing up, I had no room for God in my life, and I felt betrayed. Where was God? Where was God when I needed him? That was the way that I felt about God for so many years. And so my spirituality, I mean, it just is what it is what it is now, but it was what it was. And so many survivors of abuse are in the same situation. So I decided when I first started doing this stuff, that I would not. I have so many friends here. I've got Zulega here. Hello, how are you? I hope you're having a good day and a good week so far. And yeah, I didn't want to mix my spirituality with the one child abuse survivor to another, because so many people then, I would kind of isolate, so that whole section of people who are angry at God or just don't believe in a higher power. And so I kept that one very much not, it's not spiritual at all. It's just looking at the issues and what are they and sticking to that. So, and that worked out well for me too. Because I understand, that so many people do have, and I have Sis Jackson here. Hello, everybody. This is so great to have you all here. And Vicky made me, and Melissa Dove, and so many people. This is so wonderful. Thank you all for being here. And so that's healing word of life. That's one I'd like to continue on with, because it's a biblical counseling study basically that I was working on, and that helped me out a lot, to get in touch with my feelings on that, because I know I've got an associate degree in biblical studies. I actually studied and worked really hard for that. Um, Studied for 4 years and got an honors on that one, and I'm working now on a bachelor of ministry. But as a survivor of abuse, I find that so many of the churches are not, and in my area, let's just say, because I can't talk about the world, I don't know, but just in my city alone, are not really all that helpful. It's kind of like, where do you go for help? Even myself, with what I've got an associate's in biblical studies, people, you know, so I know the Bible quite well. I don't know everything. Like, nobody knows everything, except except for God. So nobody on this earth knows everything. There's some people that think they do, but they don't. Um, I'm just working through and, trusting God that He'll guide the way. And so I want to continue those as well. So that's another one that I'll do. I think I'm going to just do that once a week, and, half hour, whatever, an hour show, half hour, if anybody's interested in that. And I also have one that I was doing that's called Living in the Light of Eternity. And that's a playlist here too. I think I have that on here as a playlist. Um, that's just a discipleship type information, which I do enjoy looking at and sharing, because I'm always working on it myself. And so I do some Christian type broadcasting, but I don't mix it with my one child abuse survivor to another, like I said, because so many people, and I know why, because I was there. I was there as a teen, just so angry at God, cursing at him in the backyard. It's just like, how could you do this? How could you leave? I really felt completely betrayed by him. So I didn't want anything to do with him. And so with, this higher power, this God, right? So since then, I'm really blessed, because if you want to look at really, it's my testimony. What saved me from killing myself at the age of 42 was was a situation where I was sitting on the couch, and I knew that God was telling me to live, because I could. It wasn't an audible voice that I could hear. I wasn't having like a mental breakdown or anything. I kind of was, because I was considering suicide, but it wasn't like a psychotic episode where I was hearing voices. I just knew that this thing inside of me was saying, "Live, live," and I was like, I've got to live. That's God. You know what I mean? I knew it. So, since then, I've been on this wonderful journey. And so I give God all the glory, really, because He's the only reason that I'm still here. So I'm thankful. So that's why I want to keep doing some of those shows as well. So I figured if I've got 6 months, I thought if I only have 6 months to actually share with people, what would I want to share? And I think that's mainly what I thought I'd like to do, is continue on one child abuse survivor to another, sort of like a continuation, just reading through, looking at Survivor to Thriver, because they don't mind if you broadcast. You can use that material any way you want to. You just can't, like, you can't like change it from their original thing, because they've written it. It's theirs, but we'll read it as it is and then talk about it. And so if anybody wants to join me here, feel free to. I'm going to post the schedule in the description here below this video, of the days and times. If you want to join in, you can. If anybody's interested, if you're an adult survivor of child abuse and you don't have a group, if you need help, you want me to help you find one, or just information about what are these different survivor groups about. I used to also do a survivor group for survivors of incest, And so that was great. I actually see Survivors of Incest Anonymous. That was a really great group to start. I actually belonged to one first, and then I started my own. And those groups can be very helpful because they're anonymous. You can come on. You don't have to tell people your real name. And so you can, if you're looking for information, you don't know where to find it, you can get a hold of me. Um, and if you want to join me for these shows, like I said, I'll post the times below. And I'm actually using StreamYard, as you can see up in the corner there. This is being powered by StreamYard. I have to wear a headset because my sound is such a problem. It wasn't the other night when I broadcast with AU4H on the same computer. So it's intermittent. So I just never know. So I'm going to have to probably just wear the headset so that you can hear me. And because there's no sense in me doing the show just going, you see my mouth moving, but you can't hear what I'm saying. So I figured I better wear my headset. And yeah, I thought if I only had 6 months of internet left, you know what I mean? What would I really want to share with people? And I think it's just to reach out to people, you know, and sort of continue on sharing with for adult survivors of child abuse, and also some Christian material too. And because that's very important to me, and because I haven't been feeling well, I have put off my studies, and because I can't concentrate. So I did move my space around, created a little sort of a more compact office space in my living room because I don't have much space in here. It's kind of a small place. And I'm hoping this will help me to concentrate on my studies a little bit better. I'd like to finish my bachelor degree. So I only have about 6 months to go. So, and if I've only got 6 months of internet, this all needs to get done. So that's my goal. So I'll be broadcasting almost every day here with all of those shows. And I think skipping a couple of them. And also on AU4H, I'll be that's AU4H Radio here on YouTube, our channel with my sister advocates. We'll be doing 1 or 2 shows per week there too. So I figured, hey, if I've only got 6 months of internet left, what do I want to do? And I thought, well, I want to share with people what's helped me out and what's helped me get through some very, very difficult times, where I thought it was not doable. And I thought that life wasn't worth living. And, I'm glad. I'm so, so thankful to be here. And I didn't used to be, but I am now because this is a true gift. So many children are killed and murdered and never get the opportunity, to enjoy or learn to enjoy life, right? So I'm feeling very, very thankful these days, let me tell you, that I have the opportunity. I figure, hey, I've got a voice, I can use it, right? Even if that's the only thing I can do. It makes me feel better. And at least then the whole, I was talking to somebody about that before, that, at least the abuse then, my abusers basically then don't win, right? Because if I find life is good and I find peace and joy and love, and, I'm having a good life, and I know what love is and kindness and goodness is, and I can be good to people and all that. They can be, and I can accept love, receive love, I can give love. Then I win. My abusers lose, right? Because I stay alive and I'm doing well. So this is what I wish for everybody, out here who's struggling, because I know it's hard. It is hard. And we just have to keep going. So, yeah, I just wanted to come on for a few minutes tonight. Tomorrow, I think what I'll do is the first one child abuse survivor to another. I'll just call it that, and I'll call it the continuation, because I've got several series of that. I've got the restoration, because I thought, well, I'll stick to the main title, because then people know what the show is basically about. And then, but there's always some new piece to it, because it's over the years it's sort of morphed into another version type thing. So this is what we'll do, and I'll just call it a continuation. So, thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. Like I said, I hope you're having a good night or a good day wherever you are. Thank you for your kind comments and your words of encouragement. They mean a lot. Like I said, I have never had as so many people comment on my work before. I had never had that amount of feedback on anything that I've done over the last 12 years, so many years later. So it was a bit of a shock, and I was quite overwhelmed by it. But actually, what it did was it just warmed my heart, because I thought, wow, I've been speaking about this, thousands of hours, and I never heard from very many people. And so I really appreciate it. You taking the time, to comment, right? And to just your encouragement really means a lot to me. So thank you very much. And thank you, sis. I appreciate it. And I appreciate your interest. And like I said, I just wanted to be one more voice out here. And I wanted people to see me, the real me. So I never really wanted to have like a green screen with a beach scene in the background and me trying to put on a bikini and dye my hair and all this. I just wanted to be me because I wanted people to see the reality and the truth of who I am and what I'm saying. You know what I mean? It was more important about the message that I was getting across. So, I'm actually really quite a boring person. So, really sort of boring. But the message is clear. I care about people very much so. And I know people are hurting out there. And I know people have been through so much. And I just want to be one more voice saying, you can do this. We can do this. We can do it. We have to work. We have to work hard at it, and we have to make the right choices for ourselves. And we have to start working on, feeling better. It just doesn't happen. Somebody's not. I was always waiting for somebody else to do this for me, but they couldn't. I had to do this myself, and so I just wanted to be one more voice. And also for child abuse prevention. To be a voice out here so that it doesn't get swept under the carpet again. It's the whole world wants people like me to go away. Not the whole world. I say that because what I'm saying is there's a huge part of the population of the whole world that does want people like me to go away. They'd be happy if I went away because they're abusing children or they know somebody that is. There's a lot of sick people out there. Just look at the headlines. It's horrific. And so I just keep on talking. And I'm like, well, if people want to listen, that's great. But I do ramble on, and I tend to do that. But it's just that's just my thinking process. I'm tired. I'm like 55. I'm exhausted. My husband was terminally ill for 17 years. I worked all the way through. I've been working since I was like 16. Sometimes 2 or 3 jobs. And, so I'm exhausted, and my health, just like I said, it kind of started to slowly break down there too. I'm feeling, like I said, a bit better, but I had cancer and it was horrible. So I am feeling a lot better, and I'm thinking, hey, if I got 6 months left, what do I want to do with it? Share it with people, as much as I can. So that's what we'll do. And I really wish you all the best. I really do. 2021, let's hope it's better. I'm just praying for people. I'm like, just, hold in there, hang in there. This is hard. So many people have lost, so much through this, their jobs, their livelihoods, their businesses, small businesses closing. People are losing their homes. I just rent this place. Like, it's not mine. I just rent, the lady that owns this suite, she likes me. She feels sorry. I think she feels sorry for me, so she lets me stay here. She was going to sell the place and then she decided not to. So I've been in this suite for like 12 years, and me and my husband were. And, I think she just feels sorry for me, so she doesn't sell it out from underneath of me, right? I mean, she's just a really nice lady. So I'm just kind of one of these people I just barely get through in life, you know what I mean? And that's why, I'm not some famous person out here who's trying to be a personality like a celebrity. So when I see people making fun of my hair and stuff, I just laugh because I'm like, look, I'm just a regular person, sorry. I'm not Cheryl Teague, but the younger people wouldn't maybe not know who that is, Cheryl Teague. But anyway, thank you, sis. I really appreciate it. And this is just what it is. I just found so many others did that for me. Sis Jackson was saying that, that my stories give people hope and strength. And the thing is so many people did that for me. Even when I was growing up, I had people in my life my friends, parents who were very good to me and treated me very well. And so not my own parents, but I had especially 2 of my friends' parents who were really good to me. And then later in life, I've had other people be really good to me. And as a survivor, when I started to reach out and let people know, hey, I'm a survivor of abuse. I need help. This was back when, like I said, when I first started my healing journey, really basically 2009. So, that's many years ago. But all these hands started coming out, reaching out to me. I mean, all these beautiful people, they were like, you can do this. You can do this. And they were just pulling me along. And because I mean, I needed help. And they just gave me so much strength. And they were the ones that gave me the hope. And that's why I want to pass it on to other people, you know. And because that light that they gave to me, because I was in such a dark place, that's the light that's in me that I want to share with others, you know. So it's yeah, thank you, sis. I appreciate it, sis Jackson. She says she's sorry for my loss. You know, this is just the thing, and so many people have lost so many people this last year to COVID-19. You know, people losing their parents, their grandparents, husbands and wives. You know, dying. Um, Terrible. The grieving that's been going on. I mean, it's just unbelievable. And I think the world is grieving right now, the whole world. And I'm hoping 2021 is much better. Let's hope so. And we can kind of ourselves try to, even in our own life, no matter day to day, whatever the situation is, try to make it a little bit better, right? There's really only so much we can do day to day, right? I mean, like I was talking about that before on my last check-in. It's kind of like, 24 hours, that's all we got in a day. So what can I do today to feel better? So that's what I'll be talking about this Saturday again on the check-in. And if you want to join me, you sure can. 12 noon, that's what we'll do. 12 noon Saturday. But I'll be back on tomorrow with the first show for that One Child to Be Survivor to another. We'll call it the continuation. That's the only thing I can think of to call it. And Melissa, I would say, like, this is just it. So many people are really just living day to day. Some people are living like hour to hour. It's sometimes it's just so hard. And when I started to reach out, I was so thankful because before that, my life was so dark. I mean, it really was. I mean, even though I was working, day to day, I looked like on the outside like I was fine, but on the inside, I was crumbling, and I knew it was coming. But like, really honestly, we need to reach out. Yes, we do. We really do. Even me. I have people that I can talk to. I have support groups. I can call these people anytime. I can show up to these support groups anytime. Actually, I do sometimes. When I'm really having a hard time, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going to attend a meeting because I seriously need to. Because we've got to find that support. We really do. Because we can't do this on our own. See, I used to think I could do it on my own because that's when I was growing up abused. I was like, oh, I can handle it. That's why I turned into this tough kind of chick, kind of like, I can take it, dish it out. That's fine. I can take it, And I just kind of developed this horrible attitude, that, hey, no, I'm an island unto myself. I don't need anybody, you know, trying to convince myself that was going to be okay and I could live like that. And, sometimes a little bit of that's okay because we do need, when you're growing up like that, you kind of do need to be able to ward off other people who might kind of tend to bully or abuse you. So, sometimes those coping mechanisms work for your advantage for a bit, but not always. And then later when we build up these walls, well, I don't need anybody. I got myself. And, it's kind of, I think it's important to reach out. It really is. Because I know when I started to reach out, that's when things started to change. That's when I actually started to really feel better about things, and be able to work through things. So I just say, keep reaching out. Don't give up. And, we just have to keep going, And, yeah, like Lexi was saying, if we do find this can be a problem. I know you have to be careful. Too open, too caring, too trusting, that sort of thing. There's a lot. I mean, that can be a problem too, because there's boundaries that need to be set. Boundary work. I did a lot of boundary work because as a survivor of abuse, I quite often can't see when I'm heading into an abusive relationship. I can't, for some reason, I can't. I think it's just because it's the norm for me. So that's, I'm just, I don't think any, yeah, I don't think anything's wrong. I don't get those warning signs that a person who grew up in a normal, caring environment can see that stuff right away, that it's toxic. So I had to work on boundaries, and I did huge work on boundaries. I did probably 2 or 3 years of looking into boundaries and really working on setting boundaries. And even sometimes my boundaries that I set, weren't stable enough to completely, hold. But over the years, I've gotten much, much better at it. And now my boundaries are really solid. Boundary work, it's very, very important so that you don't become then a target or being used by people because, too caring or too open, people can tend to take advantage. And they do, and they will, because there's always somebody out there, for some reason thinks it's okay to do that, pretty much because they don't have any boundaries, right? So it's kind of a disease in a way. People who do that kind of stuff, it's a mental problem, right? That they do need help with. People that use people and take advantage of people. And so I would say for me, boundary work was huge. I did a lot of it. And I would just type into my browser, setting proper boundaries. And I'd come up with all of this information and I'd just methodically go through it and read what they had to say, watch the videos, listen to the audios, watch those guys talking about it. And I'd be like, yeah, okay, wow, I really do need to set up some boundaries and, to make sure that I don't get hurt. In the meantime, I don't want to close off and be, you know, like I used to be, which was like, oh, I don't need anybody. The minute somebody gets too close, oh, they got to go. They're too close, off they go. That there's no, then you just miss out on this connection with people, and that's what I was craving, was this connection with people. That's but at the age of 30, running up to Canada, trying to get my life going. I was just looking for healthy relationship, but I didn't know what a healthy relationship was. So I'm telling you, it took me to the age of 42, and at that point, I hit rock bottom. I never did any work. I was just really blessed to be with this my husband, who was a good man, but it could have been really bad because I didn't know what I was doing. I had no idea what a healthy relationship was. So I was just really blessed that he was very good and kind to me. But the thing is not everybody, ends up with that and ends up in another abusive relationship. So this is the issue. My mom did that. My mom was abused as a child and then married my dad, who then abused her. And so she just felt that was her life. She was a victim. She never got help. She had opportunity to get help, when social services stepped in and because they were busted on child abuse charges. My mom could have got help at that point. They were told to get counseling, marital counseling and all that. And they didn't do it. So her life was just a mess, and I've seen people do it, but it can happen so easily because we don't know those signs. And so as a survivor of abuse, any type of abuse, whether it's child abuse or domestic violence, whatever, we need to learn those boundaries and what healthy boundaries are and, what healthy relationships are. Very, very important. And so, we can, if anybody's interested in this stuff and you want information, you can just get a hold of me. If you're not sure, what to look for or how to find it. I've done a lot of looking into this stuff for years and years. I've spent looking at this stuff. So, I might have seen something out there that's helpful. And, yeah, you just have to be your own best advocate and find out what you need. And that's kind of where that Survivor to Thriver workbook is handy, because it does, when a person's going through it, like, for myself, I'll just use myself for an example. I'm reading through it. It's asking these questions and it really makes you think, wow, yeah, okay, I've done that. Whereas I might not have thought about that before. And that's a setup for a fall, rejection, this kind of stuff. It's like, rejection was huge for me, and it still is a huge problem for me. So I'm still kind of working on that. I think I'll always be working on that because I'm just having a hard time with it. Even today, rejection is still a problem with me. Not so much if people that I don't know so well, but people that I know, it's a real problem because, like, my mom rejected me, right? And so, Yeah, and my dad really rejected all of his children, but my mom rejected me. So I really felt the loss from that, and just grieving all the time about it. So it's hard. Then in life to be rejected by people, friends, bosses, whatever, it is difficult, hard to handle, and I have to, then have to learn that what, that's okay. Just because they rejected me doesn't make me the lower person, right? That's their problem, not mine. So I'm learning how to deal with this stuff, but it's taken a long time. So that's where that Survivor to Thriver workbook will come in handy. If you want to do that on your own, you can get it from the ASCA, Adult Survivors of Child Abuse, a Morris Center program. That's like the full title of their thing. They are online. It's free. You can go to their website, grab. It'll say Survivor to Thriver workbook. You can download it as a Word doc or a PDF. You can read it online. It's free. It's for everybody. They just welcome people just to take it, use it, do whatever you want with it, because they want to help people. That's a great organization. And like I said, I volunteered with them for a while. I had a group going, and it is a great group. If you can find one online that that you would trust and whatnot, I would highly recommend them, because I know the people that run the whole main thing, and they're awesome. So it's it is tough. These issues are so hard, and so that's why I want to keep going on this. And if anybody's interested, like I said, or if you need information or whatever, you can always contact me here. You can leave a message for me. You can contact me on my author, Lorianne Smith, at Gmail. That's my Gmail, author LorianneSmith.gmail.com. And, or at whatever, at Gmail. And then you can also get a hold of me on my website, and that is authorloriannesmith.weebly.com. Several places, Facebook, I'm all over the place. So, if you need something, get a hold of me if you want some information or whatever. And, otherwise, I look forward to seeing you again sometime. Like I said, I want to thank all of you for your precious comments. I really appreciate it. And, I I was actually really overwhelmed by it, because, like I said, I'm not used to having people be so kind about my work. So I was like, every time I see those comments, my heart just melts, because I'm like, oh, almost, I really did start. I was actually crying about it, because I was just like, this is so overwhelming to me. I never ever have had this amount of support, and even though I have some good friends in my life who treat me very well, um, I've never had this many people respond in that way to my work. And so I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. And if you do want to read my books, like I said, they are on my website. You can read them for free. You can download them. And you have to read at your own discretion. And, if you're a minor, you definitely should have an adult check them out first to make sure it's something that's okay for you to be reading. One of the books, One Child Abuse Survivor to Another, The Journey, that is explicit sexual material, sexual violent material, that's dealing with the CSA, child sexual abuse and incest, that I suffered. So that book is not for children. It is adult material only. It's basically like R-rated material. So it's not even available in book form. It's only available as a PDF. Or no, it's not available as a PDF. That's right. On Lulu, it's only available as a book. So you have to read it at your own discretion. All of my stuff, because I'm speaking the truth. I decided that I didn't want to sugarcoat abuse, because that's an insult. A lot of times people will sugarcoat abuse. Oh, it wasn't that bad, Oh, it really wasn't that bad. It's kind of like always saying, oh, making light of it. And it's like, abuse is horrific, And we need to honor the survivors who didn't like the survivors, who've now passed on, and also the children who did not make it, who were killed. We need to honor them by speaking the truth about what abuse does and how horrible it really is. So I decided not to sugarcoat any of my stuff. I'm like, no, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be real about it. And so you do have to read all those books at your own discretion, for sure. And I've got Nina Bina 87. Hello, how are you? From Australia. Right on. And, well, thank you very much. It is, well, I mean, this is it. Abuse is horrifying, of any type. And, there's nothing okay about it. That's why I always say, it's not okay. Children are dying, right? I just didn't happen to be killed, but look at how many survivors are out here that didn't happen to be killed, thank God, right? The issue is some are ending up in body bags, right? And this is why I keep speaking out. I'm like, well, as long as I'm on the planet, I'll just keep speaking out because I've got nothing better to do. To me, that's the most important thing. Um, because children are completely vulnerable. They really are. And unless we stand up for their rights, they don't have any. Children didn't even used to have rights. It's only been what, not even 100 years, hardly 100 years since they, or maybe 110 years or something. It's very recent that children actually even had the right to life, right? Um, so it's just so important, right, that we all stay aware, watch out for these children, be good to our own children if you have children, um, you know, and if you're a survivor of abuse, you deserve to get help. You don't deserve to be suffering on your own, struggling. You never deserved what happened to you. Not ever. None of us did. And so, hi, Cynthia. I've got Cynthia Kiefer here. Hi there. How are you? I hope you're well. And yeah, I always, just try to to let people know, because some people may have never heard that, from anybody. Maybe people just, so many times people don't want to hear from survivors of abuse. It's kind of like, oh, gee, whiner. Can't you just like get over it? That's why I always make mention of that in my videos. I'm like, can't you just get over it? That just bothers me when people say, I've actually had people say that to me. And that's why I'm like, no, no, if we could just all get over it, wouldn't that just be great? You know what I mean? Um, it's like, well, no, you want to suffer what we've been through and then you can just get over it. I wouldn't wish that on anybody. See, that's just the issue. I wouldn't wish that on anybody, what we've been through. It's not right, right? No child should ever suffer at the hands of a person who's intentionally trying to hurt them. We're not talking about accidents, and we're not talking about like discipline. We're talking about abuse, right? And so this is what a lot of people who just don't think about it, make silly comments like, can't you just get over it? Oh, was it really that bad? I've actually heard that one too many times, several times. Oh, it wasn't that bad. Oh, or was it? Was it really that bad? I hate when people say that to me. I've had a few people say that, and then I'm just like, well, have you got about, 200, 300 hours? Because I can tell you how bad it was. Just go watch my videos on YouTube. It's horrible, right? It's just absolutely horrible. So, you know, it's just horrific what people are out there doing. So this is why we keep doing what we're doing. AU4H, that's Advocates United for Humanity. We're still going strong on the child abuse prevention stuff. We always will. And so if you want to pop over there and join us, you sure can. We always welcome people to come on board and volunteer and, just spread the word. Just share the pages, whatever. It gets the word out, right? We have some great programs. There's some chapters in Florida and Pennsylvania and a few others coming up around the states. And, I just say for all you survivors out here, like I said, keep reaching out. Don't give up. Don't give up. Two of my brothers gave up and killed themselves. Right? And I was heading on that road. One of my sisters was going to kill herself. She used to disappear with a gun for days. And we'd be like, oh, man, we're going to get the call that she's killed herself, right? And one of my brothers was murdered, so he didn't have a chance to try to kill himself. He was killed. So, it's just horrific, right, what this stuff does. And that's why I'm so, I guess, want to keep doing this, because two of my brothers killed themselves in their 30s, mid 30s. And they were so many years apart. Like, one killed himself, and then 5-6 years later, the other one killed himself. And then I was heading that way. And it's just like, I know how hard this stuff is. And so that's why I continue to do this, right? And, none of us are getting any younger, right? I'm like, I've only got so much time, I mean, who knows how long we're going to be here. But I figured, well, while I'm still here, that's my main message, for you survivors out here. Do not give up. Not ever. Even on the hardest, worst day or night of, and you're struggling, you're having a hard time, don't give up. It's so important to me that you don't give up because you matter to me. That's the issue. I may not even know you, I may not know your name, but you matter to me, right? None of us deserve that. And we all deserve to have a good life. But it doesn't happen unless we get the ball rolling. Nobody's going to, like, I always wish somebody would just hand me a good life. It would just be so much easier. But that's not going to happen. That's not reality, right? We need to make changes. We need to make really good changes on our behalf, whatever those changes may be in your life. For me, it was a lot of work. I had a lot of work to do. And but the thing is it's doable, but we just have to get help, right? And so that's what I always say. Don't give up. Please don't give up. Because my main thing was when I decided to live and not kill myself at the age of 42, sitting around the last time going, this is it, man. This is it. I said to myself, I said, you know what? If I do that, then my abusers win. My abusers win if I give up. Because then they got what they wanted, which was to destroy me completely by having me destroy myself later, at the age of 42. So I'm like, no, I'm going to live. I'm going to live. I'm going to live as long as I possibly can. Because every day that I wake up, it's a slap in my abusers' faces. Now, they're dead. They're long gone. But the thing is, it's still a slap in their face. Every day I wake up, I'm like, yep, I'm still here. And I'm having a good life. So there you go. It's great. That's my way of getting back. It's like, yeah, no, I don't have hatred in my heart. I have love in my heart for life and for myself and for others. I don't have hatred in my heart. They put hatred in my heart. And they made me hate myself enough to want to kill myself. And I'm like, no, no, no more of that. And it took time to do this. I was on my healing journey for like 14 years. Yeah, yeah. And Lexi says, living out of spite. That's right. That's exactly what it is. It's like, you know what? No, I'm here. I'm staying alive, and that's the best decision I could make, because then I actually win the battle. I win the fight. They're in the grave. They're long gone, and they went out in all of their evil and all of their hatred and all of their horrific ways of being. You know, and me, I got to heal, and I got to learn to love life and learn to love myself and learn to love others. And so, that's my main message. Don't give up, not even on your hardest day. Just remember, tomorrow could be better. Tomorrow could be a better day, especially if you reach out and you get in contact with a group that you can call 24 hours a day. If you're having a hard time, there's plenty of those groups around where if you can't cope, you just you call those numbers, and you've got another adult survivor who's been there on the other end ready to help you out. So that's what I'm saying. Don't quit. Don't ever quit. Don't give up. And, keep going and join me here again. So thanks everybody for being here. I was only going to stay on for 15 minutes, but I have so many nice people here. Thank you so much, my friends, for being here. And like I said, if you need info, just leave it in info. Leave a message, or you can contact me. I do have my contact information in the. I think it's on the about section of the channel. All my links are there, and you can get a hold of me any number of ways. And I'd be glad to even speak with you. Whatever I can do to help you out, to get through things or to find information or whatever, just get a hold of me. I wish you all a great night, and we'll talk to you again real soon. God bless you all. Bye-bye.